I now don't respect her. There's no respect there. I don't like her because she constantly just throws things in my face, and I'm just feeling stronger and fitter than ever, so feeling very prepared. Like, I don't give up. I'm like I've got a warrior heart. The first fight with Elle, I took on 2 weeks notice. I came out of Love Island, I was drinking so much. You get invited to all these events, and obviously before Love Island you don't go to all these things, so you're just caught up in this world of like going out, partying all the time, not having a routine, not having a healthy lifestyle, and it was really bad, first, not just for my physical health but for my mental health. Boxing saved me, because if I continued going down that path and that lifestyle, like, who knows what would have happened.
Hello and welcome to the Influencer Boxing Show with, as always, your glamorous host, Charlie Woollard. It is a Thursday, and I said in last episode I had no trim, and guess what? We still got no trim, but we're moving through it. But today I'm joined by, as always, a special guest, and today that continues. And we have our first female guest of the show, and funny enough, our first female boxer and first Misfits boxer as well, which I'm very happy to say. And that, of course, is Miss AJ Bunker. A round of applause, please. We've got a big audience today. Big audience.
Thanks for having me, guys.
How are you, first of all? Most important question out of anything I'll ask is, how are you? How's life? What's been going on?
Yeah, life's good. Obviously, well into camp now. I think this is the last few days before fight week. So yeah, feeling good, feeling strong, feeling fit, feeling ready to go. But yeah, life's been good. Obviously been in camp mode, so no drinking. Like Christmas, my birthday, New Year's, very, very quiet, but still made the most of it.
You had your birthday around Christmas as well?
Yeah, December the 7th.
Oh, so it's not too far. Mine's the 30th, so I was going to say, so that's been hard for you as well, because Christmas, no drinking, obviously watching what you're eating, I'm guessing as well. So has that been really challenging?
Do you know, I'm just so used to it now, because I've been in and out of camps for so long. I've just got used to not drinking and eating healthy, and because this title's middleweight, I don't need to watch what I eat, so I've just been I can
had
eat
to throw in the title as well, by the way, which we have here. It's replaced our normal glove. We thought we'd add a bit more of a touch. She's brought the belt on, and by the way, it's bloody heavy. It looks a lot heavier than what it is.
But it really is.
It really is. We were joking off camera, funny enough, that she took it to one of the events, and it's not a handbag. It's really not a handbag. It's a belt, and it's bloody heavy.
Yeah, it is. It's honestly gives me shoulder. Is that a shoulder? Yeah, shoulder every time I carry it.
So, of course, we've got you on here because next week we're filming the week before. So next week you're fighting someone that was, funny enough, one of your first fights. But it was your first fight, Elle Brooke.
Yeah.
I know it might make you shake a bit every time I say her name. But before we get on to Elle and everything like that, how is camp going for you? I know we spoke just a minute ago about your food and everything. Has there been anything different that you've had to other fights in terms of your camp?
This camp is a bit more strength training, just to make myself, just a bit more of like making sure I'm strong, super fit. Like, everything's just been upped this camp. So, yeah, it's been a really, really good camp. So just all around, just focusing on everything. And I'm just feeling stronger and fitter than ever. So feeling very prepared.
And with the difference in camps, I know you said you focus on your strength. Is there anything that you wanted to change that you have a say in going into this camp? Was there anything that you said to your team, maybe have you got the same team as well for every camp?
Same team, yeah. So I'm with Coach Solomon. My brother actually does my strength training now, so
that's easier to get.
That changed. And do you know what? When you have a sibling training you, you get pushed harder, because
you can be annoyed at them more.
Oh my god! And my brother knows what to say to push me. Like, he's like, "You're a pussy," and I'm like, if anyone else said that to me, I probably would hit them. Whereas my brother can get away with it, and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I can do it."
But you could be extra annoyed at them as well, can't you? Because with my brother, I mean, we always have back and forth, so you can be, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. So he just pushes me so hard, and yeah, so that's one thing that has changed. But coach is still the same. But yeah, S&C is done by my brother now. But yeah, I love it. I love training with him. It's brought us closer together. So. And
with again, we spoke a bit. We speak about the strength and everything. But does that come a lot from your food as well? Have you changed anything in your diets? What are you eating? What is a day to day? Let's go today. You woke up. What do you eat? I know a lot of fighters do a lot of juice now. So they have it a lot in juices.
Do they?
Yeah, they do a lot of juices.
I do have some BCAA juice in the morning. I usually have like 3 eggs, avocado, bit of toast.
I just got that 6-pack coming along. Yeah. I know that.
I don't know. It's there. And then usually like a lot of fish, a lot of rice, lots of carbs. I eat fish during the day, and then at night I'll eat like red meat. So yeah, a lot of protein, a lot of carbs.
Do you enjoy it?
I do. I love eating, so it's good. There are times where it's because of the weight that I'm at now, and because I'm like trying to get stronger and build muscle, you have to eat so much more than when I was trying to lose weight for for the previous belt. So yeah, it's I love food, but when you're like, I can't actually finish it, it can
and watching everything you eat as well, because I find that it becomes an addiction, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where you sort of like, you're literally watching to the calorie and to the gram of everything you're eating.
Literally, my fitness power, it becomes like an obsession. I'm just like looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm off this. What do I need to eat to just get that bit in? And it's just, yeah, it's like, I'm such a number watcher person. So it's, yeah, it becomes a bit OCD.
And when, let's just say you stop fighting, will you continue that sort of diet? Not to maybe the same strictness, but do you enjoy the actual diet itself?
Definitely. Do you know what? So before I did the boxing, I wasn't healthy at all. I used to hate going to the gym as well. So now that I've got a healthy lifestyle, I love it, and I would love to continue that. I feel so much better for it. I feel like my body feels good. I feel like more energized. So yeah, I definitely will eat. Continue eating healthy, but I'm gonna probably just throw in a few snacks here and there.
AJ's done my next transition for me. Speaking of continuing, when you obviously after this Elle fight and everything happens, actually, sorry, let's go back. Let's go back a sec, because how did you get into it? Because you said you didn't have a healthy lifestyle beforehand. So was that the biggest challenge for you beginning with, to get back to almost have a routine again, but going to the gym, eating well? Has that been the biggest challenge for you?
Definitely. What got me into it is obviously I did Love Island. I came out of Love Island, I was drinking so much. You get invited to all these events, and obviously before Love Island, you don't go to all these things. So you're just caught up in this world of like going out, partying all the time, not having a routine, not having a healthy lifestyle. And it was really bad, not just for my physical health, but for my mental health. And someone like my agent approached me about doing one of these influencer boxing, and I was like, hell fucking no. Like I was like, I like my face, I don't want to hit someone. I've never had a fight with someone before. Like I think I've had one fight in the street fight in my life, and I was hitting the girl like this because I didn't know what to do.
Handbag central.
I was like this. So yeah, at first I was like, no way. I started talking to my friend who did boxing, and he was like, why don't you just come for a training session, see if you like it.
A lot of girls do it, by the way. My gym, it's a club. Most people do like boxercise and things like that, don't they?
I never thought to put a pair of gloves on before, and that first smack on the pads, I fell in love with it. And I honestly can say like boxing saved me, because if I continued going down that path and that lifestyle, like who knows what would have happened, because my mental health was deteriorating, my physical health was deteriorating, and I used to hate going to a normal gym before. So finding boxing is like finding a sport that I actually enjoy, and I actually like enjoy getting fit with. So yeah, for any girls out there who hate the normal gym and wanted to try something, and you've never put a pair of boxing gloves on before, give them a try, because you might like it.
She'd be good at promoting like a boxing gym, wouldn't she? She'd be great. Free advertising. But you said about how it obviously saved you, which is obviously amazing to hear. And I think a lot of people actually, even in the men's division, professional division, say the exact same thing. Same for females as well, just from your background. And that's how people get into boxing. But with you, how did you physically, so you mentioned about your agent coming to you about a fight. Was it, be honest with me, because in the space that we are, there's a lot of money thrown about. Was the money, first of all, sort of a eye-opener to go, right, that was actually, to have a fight like this is, we're talking some like decent numbers here. Well, and was it also an element of wanting to improve a lifestyle? So
the first like promotion that I was actually going to do it with was actually not going to be paid.
Okay.
Yeah, so I literally was just doing it
just for the lifestyle.
Just for the lifestyle, and that's why I was like, when he approached me about it, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, but then when I tried it, and I was like, this is actually something that is actually giving me something to work towards, something to wake up for, something to make me want to better myself. But yeah, the first promoter, which was Boxstar, which I think Tom's, I can't remember who fought on it before, but I know who you are. Yeah, so they were who approached me before, and yeah, there wasn't even a figure, which is mad in the world we live in, because everything's got a price, literally everything. Absolutely. So yeah, it literally was that I just wanted to give it a go, and I found something I enjoyed, and I was like, wow, I enjoy it, so let's just see where this goes and give it a try. So for you now, because obviously Misfits has become this sort of
it is almost a global business where they're getting fighters now from Brazil, etc., and they're coming over. I mean, Julie Park and Whindersson Nunes and things have coming over, bringing a whole new audience in. So for you now, the money might be great, but you are actually really enjoying the lifestyle. You really are enjoying the actual space that you're getting into now.
Absolutely. I feel like if you don't enjoy the lifestyle, you couldn't do it, because it's not just, I think people who don't understand boxing, it's not just an hour of training. It genuinely is a lifestyle. You have to eat healthy. You don't drink. You have to say no to going out. And training is number one priority. Like going to bed on time. It is literally not just an hour of training every day. It is literally a lifestyle. So you have to enjoy it, because otherwise you're not going to want to wake up and do it every day.
Which is fair enough. And speaking of training, she's doing my transitions for me. It's brilliant. Speaking of training, you are training for a huge fight.
Yep.
We mentioned right at the start of the podcast that you are training for a fight against someone that was your very first fight. You've had a lot of beef as well. Elle Brooke, I've seen you've done a few interviews this week, one with Elle Brooke, funny enough. But let me ask you a question. Do you actually like Elle away from boxing? Because we know the space. We've been at the events. We know when the cameras are on, everything's different. When you're off, oh, how are you? Oh, great. Are you okay with Elle? Do you actually like her? Do you mind her?
Me and Elle have gone through a very rocky, we have a very rocky relationship. So after our first fight, I absolutely hated her because she was really disrespectful after that first fight. She then, before the Astrid fight, came up to me and she was like, she apologised. I'm a very forgiving person. So once someone apologises, I was like, do you know what? Let's just drop it. And I went and supported her at the Kingpin fight. And that's the kind of person I was like, right, we're cool now. I'm going to support you. Got to be your girl. And then after that, again, she just went back to being a dickhead. So it's like, I now don't respect her. There's no respect there. I don't like her because she constantly just throws things in my face, and I'm very forgiving, but I'm not forgetful either. So it's like, I forgave you the first time and you've continued to just be disrespectful towards me. So now it's like, I just don't like you. And is that fuel to your fire though? So now you're using that as a, because obviously the first fight you lost, you lost in your first fight. We will speak about that in briefly in a moment. But now you go into this fight, you're 2-2. I believe in total. Yes. So 1 pro win, 1 pro loss, but obviously you had the first expedition ones. But now you go into a fight with Elle in the rematch. You've got your belt as well, which gives you some confidence. How are you feeling coming against Elle now? Because it's quite difficult for you, I think, because as I mentioned, you lost the first fight. There's a bit of pressure on you now to come into this one. But how are you feeling in terms of facing Elle? Because she's not a normal opponent for you, because obviously there's a bit of a rivalry there. Yeah, I actually feel really good. I'm excited because I think me and her both started that journey together, so it's good to see where we've both progressed all this time on. She really seriously underestimates me as well. So, I you know what? People say, is there pressure on me? But there's more pressure on her because she's the fan favourite. Even though I'm the champion, I'm still the underdog. Misfits, she said yesterday in an interview that's not come out yet, that obviously Mams is wanting her to win and all this sort of stuff, and it's all been set up for her to win. So, you know, there's more pressure on her in that sense. But do you enjoy being the underdog? I like being the underdog. Sorry for interrupting you, but I think that's a good question because... But absolutely, it takes the pressure off you, first of all. And then when you do win, it's like... satisfying. Yeah, it's satisfying. And it's like... AJ Bunker's coldest moments 2024. It'd be like, you can already see, you can see the compilation, AJ, already. I came in as the underdog for the Belzy fight. She was like top 10. I was like 18. So they brought me in for that as well as the underdog and absolutely dominated that fight. So I like coming in as the underdog. Eventually I'd like to change that role and people, you know, see that I've actually progressed, I'm improving. But yeah, I don't mind coming in as the underdog as long as I come out and I show up and I just do my best. What's your biggest strength compared to Elle? Because I've covered a lot of the events and I've seen sort of difference between the female sides to the male sides, and I think you'd agree with me here by saying it is just sometimes just a full out scrap at times. I mean, we watched Elle versus... who did she fight? I can't remember now. My brain's gone. We're filming in the evening, by the way, so please bear with. She fought someone where it was just an absolute scrap in the first round. I think you'll know who I'm talking about. God, American girl. Could be... American... Faith Ordway. Faith Ordway. Sorry, Faith. Sorry.
Yeah, it was an absolute scrap, wasn't it, in the first round? We've seen sort of a lot of that for 4 rounds straight. So what is your strength coming into this round? Because now you're 4 fights deep. And by the way, 4 fights deep when I mean you've gone the distance every single fight.
Even with the one fight that I broke my hand in the first round, I continue going the distance. So I think that is, it's mindset. Like, I don't give up. I'm like I've got a warrior heart. The first fight with Elle, I took on with 2 weeks notice. After the first 2 rounds, I couldn't feel my legs. My legs went to jelly. If you watch that fight back, you'll see my coach actually shaking my legs out. I watched it back,
funny enough.
I was like, Jordan, I can't feel my legs. And he was shaking them out so I could feel them. And I still continued, like, to make it to the end of that fight. My fight with Astrid, broke my hand in the first round. Still continued. I went back to my corner. I didn't even know it was my hand. I was like, something's wrong.
The adrenaline's just...
Yeah, I was like, something's happened. I was like, something's not right with my body. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, just carry on. I don't know what it is. And it was like, once I took...
just mashed.
Mashed, mangled up hand. So yeah, I think that's it. I've got like a warrior. I've got a heart. I've got, like, they call me Filipino fighter because I've got fire in my belly. And that's something you can't train for. So mindset and definitely heart and fire is one thing. I mean, she is a warrior though. I won't discredit her because she's also a warrior. And I think that's why it's going to be a very good fight. We're both aggressive. We've both got heart, and I think it's going to be a very good, entertaining fight.
Because that was my next question. Because Elle's obviously shown over her fights across. She's done all, obviously same as you, similar, but she's done a few other different events, hasn't she, as well? And I know who she's training with as well. The sort of pals of mine. But are you sort of afraid of anything that she has to offer for you? I know you speak about having a positive mindset. You don't want to think about, oh, she's going to knock me out or anything like that. But does she have maybe? This is not me making a point, but has she got that strength maybe? Has she got the endurance as well? What is it?
I don't know, because I think everyone has flaws. I think she's got heart, and she obviously has been for the last year at cruiserweight, so she's got that weight advantage. Like, you know, she's saying that she's come down to this weight and that she's going to be on weight. But, you know, at the same time, I know that she's in a pro camp that knows how to drain people and dehydrate people. So who knows? So, you know, people might think she has more of a power advantage. But as I said, I've been really working on my power and my strength. So it's something I knew that if this fight happened, that I'm going to have to work on that. So it is something I've made sure to be, like, I have worked on. So, yeah, I think it'll just be, a battle of who's just...
Because as well, it's a co-main event, which I think is really great for... female boxing in this space in particular, because we haven't really seen sort of a proper main event with females, because I know the main event was cancelled, but they've sort of found out Ed Matthews is now the main event. But I think it's great. I think that's great it must be a nice feeling for you to be able to sort of main event's still in the sentence, so you claim that. Trust me, that's your claim.
Definitely, like being co-main is it's exciting, and coming as a champion this time as well. Because I think the last time me and Elle were co-main, I came with 2 weeks' notice. That event had already sold out, and so no one was there for me. So yeah, it feels good, and especially for 2 females to be co-main, I think it's just it's a really nice feeling, and it just shows that, you know, us women will show up and we'll show heart and we'll just fight it out to the death.
They are good fights to watch. I always say they're so entertaining. I
find the female fights we definitely go at it a bit more. Aggressive, women are very aggressive. We're very emotional, aggressive beings. So, you know, female fights, even though sometimes we might not have the best technique, they're always very entertaining.
And let's talk about Misfits, because we've seen they've come out as the top dog now, as in terms of a business, in terms of this sort of organizer, obviously RIP Kingpin and etc. How has it been for you working in around the Misfits scene? Do you feel like it's so organized and you're well treated? And I know you're not going to talk shade on them. I know that, I'm smart, but from a media point of view, every time I go, it's very well organized, the way they treat the fighters, and you feel that way as well? Absolutely.
Like, I wouldn't fight for anyone else. Obviously I've been before Misfits, I was approached by Boxstar. I then was with Celeb MMA, then Kingpin,
all over the place.
And I've then had a fight with Rage Combat. I've been through so many different fight promoters, and I've got good things to say about some of them, I've got some bad things to say about some of them, but Misfits, you know, they've always been so professional. Everything, there's never been anything that's hidden. Everything's very direct. The CEO, you know, he makes time for all of his fighters. Like, Mams will always, you know, have a first-hand like relationship with all the fighters, which I love, because sometimes you don't usually talk to CEO, they're just like someone that's above, and yeah, always very organised, so yeah, I think it's definitely a great fight promotion to be with.
And particularly with the Misfits scene, I know it's the same, I guess, in sort of this space with female and the male division. The male division's always going to be so many more boxers involved. And do you find it difficult being a female in the space, because there is sort of a limit? At the moment, there's sort of not a cap, but there isn't like a large amount of females in your division and certain weights. Do you find that quite difficult, because you want to try and fight more people, but you sort of look around the corner and you see the same person maybe you fought 4 months ago? Do you see what I mean?
Do you know what? It's getting bigger though. Yeah, it is getting bigger, and there's new women popping up in the scene all the time, and I know like the Misfits are going out trying to find women, but I quite like that. I know I can kind of keep tabs on who I already know, like sort of a list of who I want to go to after this fight, after the Elle fight. So, there's definitely people to fight in that scene. There's definitely enough females. But yeah, no, and as I said, people always popping up. There's always new girls that you see. They'll give you a little follow, or you can see that they're just like looking at things, and you'll be like, oh, let's check that person out. Not seen them before, and it's like, oh, she's training. So, it's
she's having a little look. She's having a little look.
There's definitely a lot of women that haven't been announced yet, but are gonna there's gonna be a lot
well,
more
you
women
can't say that and not tell me. That was gonna be my question for the end of like, who do you want to call out next? Or I know it's a cliche question, but I still needed to ask. So you've mentioned the fighters that you want to fight after Elle. You don't want to look sort of after your opponent, but in future as such, a dream fight, or who are you looking at?
Well, everyone, I don't know if anyone's aware, but this belt is actually this weight's a little bit too heavy for me. I sit in between the 112 and 125 belt, so the lightweight and middleweight. So after this fight, I want to go back down to the lightweight and get that belt as well. So I want to be
been there, done that.
Yeah, I want to keep this one. I'm defending this one, and then I'm going to go. I want to be 2 division champ.
Hopefully, it's a lighter belt as well, because it's bloody heavy.
But no, my ambition's has always been to be 2 division champ. So Astrid is ducking and diving me, so I don't care who I have to go through in that lighter division.
You want a bit of revenge as well. I can sense it. I can see it's oozing out of you, AJ. I can see it.
I'm getting the rematch with Elle, and then eventually I want the rematch with Astrid, but Astrid won't just take that fight, so whoever I have to get through in the light division, I'll go through to then make sure that rematch happens, if she still has the belt at that point, because who knows, if she might not.
Anything can happen in boxing.
Exactly. But that's definitely the goal, and obviously whoever I have to fight to get that, make sure I maintain and defend this title as well. So yeah, that's the goal. And then later down the line,
she's got it all planned. I'm serious, she's got it planned.
I want to be number 1 pound for pound female. So, later down the line, if I can, I mean, it's going to be really hard, but if I could put the weight on, I'd fight Julie Pocker as well.
Yeah, because we did an award show sort of towards the end of the year, and we were saying about how Julie Pocker's sort of come through, but she's been quite impressive. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's on your radar as well. If you can obviously move up to that weight. If I could get to that weight,
I mean, she's a lot heavier.
Imagine how heavy the belt would be. You have to get a truck to come in.
But that's the thing, like it's not just, oh, I want this belt, I want to be the best. Yeah. And I want to fight the best, and unlike certain fighters, I won't duck and dive. Like, people will say this is a tough fight, and people will say there's tough opponents out there, but I'm not scared, and I want to continue fighting the best. And yeah,
it's a good attitude to have, AJ. It's good. You can learn your lesson from this woman, and that's not me just saying that. It's very true. It's the same with every part of life. But you've actually answered my next question really. My next topic was obviously, because there's less fights happening in the women's division. Does that actually motivate you more to be that top dog? Absolutely. Because you want to be, if there's a handful of names, I mean, let's just say there was 6-7 names, you want to be that number 1.
Absolutely. Like, I want to be very active. I want to be number 1. I want to build my name up in the scene, and people are like, oh, okay, she's actually taking this seriously, and she wants to improve, and she wants to be the best, and she's actually serious about this. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure that I'm that name that people are just like, okay, you know what, she's going at it, and she's doing it.
I respect that. No, and that's important, I think, as well, because you've got big names in the scene. And speaking of the scene, do you find, because obviously you've come from Love Island, the one thing I don't really like about the scene, but I sort of understand it, is the sort of noise before the fight that you have to create more.
Yeah.
Do you, because you've obviously been involved in the social media world for a while, you understand the game, you know, you understand the more noise, the more brands that might approach you, etc. But do you try and stay out of all of that a little bit? Because I've noticed with the female division, they're wild. They're wild. I've seen a fish get flown. I've seen all sorts, AJ. So I've seen it all.
I think at the start, I always maybe was one of the more respectful women because, as I said, I didn't come from like a TikTok background. I came from Love Island, and you know, I've always loved women and I wanted to be very much for female empowerment. But the more I just found like I was nice and kind and respectful to the girls in the scene, and he just gets thrown in your face. So the respect's all gone now.
Got to turn into a bitch.
I know, you got to be a bitch in this scene because like you'll be nice to girls, and then it's like, oh shit, they want the smoke. So yeah, no, the nice side of me is just gone now. Like,
and that's come out because of other people.
Yeah, I would basically, it's like, don't prod the bear, but if you poke the bear, then you're just gonna get it back now. So and I think for me, I don't do fake stuff. So if people see that I don't like something, it genuinely is real. Like I can't do the fake stuff. Yeah. So yeah, if I'm, you know, going back at someone, it genuinely is because I genuinely do feel that way.
And do you find it hard, particularly before a fight? You've obviously got to try and promote the fight. You got to sell your tickets. I know how that works, right? I get it. But do you find it particularly hard because with the influencer boxing scene, you've got to speak even more than you want to and train at the same time without revealing too much? Is that the hardest part as well? Not revealing too much and being careful of everything you say as well, because funny enough, everything comes back to bite you, especially in this scene.
Oh my God, this is the thing. I think the main thing is like time management. It's like they want you to promote a fight, but you need to train. Then you got to find the time to actually have a personal life and eat. And that's what I struggle with. Is it's not that I don't want to like promote or do this or do that. It's just like I've got like attention deficit disorder anyways. So for me to like time manage myself is like a struggle anyways. So it's like, that's what I struggle with. It's just like, oh my God, there's so much to do. How do I fit it all in one day? But yeah, in terms of the promotion, like this time around, I've just made sure to amp it up. And in terms of your training, I just don't, just be smart with what you put out. Don't put out your sparring footage, basically.
Some people do. Some people are crazy.
I know, some people are a bit mad, and I'm just like, are they doing that on purpose, or are they, it's
mind games.
Yeah, mind games. So, and that's it. I think with the boxing world, you got to just take everything as smoke and mirrors. So even if you see something, it's like you wouldn't even think into that. Yeah. Like for instance, with my last fight for the open workout, I purposely made myself look really shit. And like so to give my opponent like full sense of like this could be a really easy fight. And she was saying it in the press, and she was like, she doesn't even train, she doesn't know how to hit a bag, and she doesn't know how to hit pads.
But you want that. And
I wanted that. I wanted her to think like that, so that when she was going in, she thought she could run through me. And then it's like, oh shit, like I didn't expect this.
That's good. So speaking of next week, you've obviously got your media workouts on the Wednesday, presser. This is how many events I've done, by the way. Media workouts Wednesday, presser Thursday, weigh-in Friday, fight Saturday. Correct?
Yes.
So you're going up on the Tuesday. How are you feeling coming into this one? I know we don't need to speak about the actual fight itself, but the event as well. In Leeds, there's a few big names on it as well. Do you really enjoy being around all those settings? Do the nerves sort of kick in early in the week, or is it more closer to fight night?
You know what? Probably like more closer to the fight night. Like I enjoy like 5 weeks. Actually, it's not so bad.
Because the pressures can be quite daunting as well, by the way. Because like there's still quite a few people sitting in the audience like this with their cameras, and you've got all these lights on you like we are now. I know it's a bit different than fighting itself,
because this is gonna be my third Misfits event. I'm kind of like used to it now. But don't get me wrong, like all the time, it's like you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think anytime like anyone has to get into like a public setting and there's like loads of cameras on you, it's like obviously you're going to feel a little bit of nerves. But let's not forget, I walked into a Love Island villa to like knowing I was walking out to the whole, a massive.
You don't see anything.
Yeah,
do you?
You don't see anything, but you see all the cameras, and it's like, okay, I know this is huge. So, it's like you just got to kind of channel that, like those nerves and that energy, and just make the most of it.
Do you get nervous? Are you someone that gets really nervous on fight night?
Do you know what?
And that might be a silly question, but obviously everyone will have some form of nerves. But I like to call nerves sort of in two different ways. You get nerves where you're like shaky and things, and then you get sort of like excited nerves.
Yeah, I get more like the excited nerves. Obviously, I think you just don't know. It goes through like waves of like, okay, this is exciting. Then it's like, oh, like I don't know. I go through like a little roller coaster. I'm like a little roller coaster. I'm like, oh, excited. Then I'm like, oh, nervous, excited, nervous. So yeah, it's like a little roller coaster. But again, now this is gonna be my 5th fight. I think I've had enough experience now to be like, okay, I know what to expect, and I feel a lot more calmer. Even in the last one, I was like, I feel so much more calmer this time round, and I feel like it's. Yeah, like the nervous energy is just not there. I just felt really calm, and I feel like that at the moment as well. So,
which is good. That's a good way to be. Do you feel what's the word I'm looking for? Do you have any like rituals, like in football? We have like pre-match rituals where like some footballers will tie their left boots up first before their right. Do you have any like sort of things like that going on to a fight night?
So I grew up in a very like Catholic household. My mum's Filipino, so my mum will always say a prayer for me beforehand, and yeah, she'll always like bless me, and yeah, we have like it's like a weird thing, like putting like lemons and stuff in like certain places of the bedroom.
Oh wow, okay, so it's like proper, okay, yeah. And that's every fight you've done?
No, not every fight. That's so the ones I've won, okay. And that's why my mum's like, I told you to do that,
and you didn't do it. So the ones that you've won, she's done that.
Yeah. So
you make sure you do that.
Oh my god, the Astrid fight. So my mum was gonna come like say a prayer for me and do like, and I was meant to see her, and they ended up being really late in the queue, so it didn't happen. And my mum was like, yeah, it's like because I didn't get to say my prayer for you. And
so you make sure she's there.
So now I make sure I do it.
You ain't going on that. You are not making that ring walk without she's coming in.
No, I make sure like I see my mum way before now. Even if it's like I'm not going to see her fight night, I'll make sure I see her like before I travel up. So we get that in.
What's her thoughts on everything? I'm glad you mentioned your mum, because I feel like family's important, and it's quite hard when you're training, I bet, because you don't really get to interact as much.
Yeah.
What's your mum's thoughts on everything though?
She loves it.
She loves it. I think she'd be the opposite.
You'll see in every DAZN, every fight I've been in, my mum will be there with a big Filipino flag.
Mate, I probably have seen her there.
Yeah, and she brings. My mum's so cute. She makes like she gets paper plates and puts AJ on them, and she hands them out to people in the crowd.
Love it. Mama Bunker's moving.
Plates with AJ on them, and I'll get like messages from people being like, I met your mum at the fight.
So
she's so lovely. So yeah, my mum absolutely loves it, and obviously, as I say, she's Filipino, so Pacquiao is like she loves Pacquiao.
Icon.
And I don't know, Filipinos have this like. They have like they're the most sweetest, humblest people, but don't mess with them. They're very aggressive when they want to be. So, and my dad absolutely loves it. He's really proud of me as well. I think he's the one who gets more nervous than my mum. My mum's like, yeah. My dad, obviously, because I'm his only daughter, I think is the one that's like, oh,
a bit more protective, a bit more watch yourself.
That's it. But both my brothers were in the army, and they boxed in the army, and one of them went on tour. So he's been through a lot with me and my brothers. So I think he knows that we can look after ourselves.
And they'll all be there for fight night if they can.
Yeah. My brother Peter will be in my corner.
You said because obviously he does all your strength and stuff.
Yeah. So and my other brother Tom will be at this fight, and my parents will be there.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. I love that. So what is it? Lemons? Explain to me that again. So
it's
just because I know you're all probably like wondering exactly what she said. I think I can picture it because. Obviously, it's lemons in a room and in a corner is what I heard.
Yeah, my mum's always had this thing. It's like even with New Year's, it's like you have to put money under your bed, under your mattress.
Yes, I've heard. Yeah,
and you got to wear dots when you
dots. I've never heard that.
Yeah, you got to wear dots on New Year's. But yeah, it's just like you have to have half cut lemons in half and put them like near the door. I think it's just like to cleanse.
Am I being stupid? I've never heard of that before. Is this a Filipino thing?
I don't know where my mum got it from, but
right, well, I'm googling that after this podcast. So I need to know because I know I might have some like voodoo come after me or something. I need to know. I need some energy.
Yeah, I was just like, look, I don't know if it works or not, but once my mum says something, I always do it.
Ghost gospel. That is like
no, honestly, when my mum says to do something, if I do it, like. It's like with Love Island. My mum was like, yeah, do this.
Oh, she said go for it as well?
She was like, I'm going to pray for you. And stuff happens.
And it's happened and you're here.
It just happens. So it's like, if my mum says it, I'm just going to do it. Even if it isn't going to work, just for superstitions reasons.
So good. Yeah, we like that. Mama Bunker, big respect. So before we wrap up, I think we should do, I know it's very cliche for a podcast, but sort of what's next for AJ Bunker, I like to call it. So I know you said about fighting a few other people in the division. Is there anyone outside of the division that doesn't even do influencer boxing that you like the name? I've heard Katie Price been flying about, by the way. I've heard all sorts of names, but is there anyone that you've seen that you want to get involved or?
No, I actually I don't have beef with anyone outside of the scene. So like for me, I'm just like, I haven't really thought of anybody out of the scene. But yeah, so for me, it's just whoever wants the smoke. And I've got my eyes on, I have got my eyes set on certain people. And as you know, I want the Astrid rematch. Alexia can have it. She's been a bit local with Elle throughout this leading up to this fight. So I would like to have Alexia probably next. Actually, I just want to
as a build up.
Do you know what? Because she fought Astrid last, and Astrid's not going to fight me. I'd like to fight Alexia. Do a really dominate.
To see where you're at.
I think I'd run through her. I think I'd absolutely run through her and leave her in such a bad, dominating fashion that people were like, "Oh my god, if that's what she did to Alexia, imagine what she's going to do to Astrid."
So you want a statement?
Yeah, because Astrid and Alexia was like, "Oh, they had to appeal it," whereas I'm not going to let that happen. If it was me versus Alexia, I'd make sure that I get her out there as quick as possible. So then people are like, "Oh, well, she's far better than Astrid then."
Respect. Okay, respect. And in terms of the future of what you inside this space, because I don't want to, obviously, you spoke about your mum and energy and things. I don't want to give you any bad energy about losing and things. Yeah. But obviously in boxing, it's a game of snakes and ladders, of course. And it's a smaller division, so it does make it easier when you do lose. You've had losses before, you've come back from them. But is there any plan of you stopping anytime soon? Have you got sort of a number of fights that we can name on fingers that you want to do before you stop? Or
I just know that this year, I want to be very active. Like I want at least 4 fights this year. Like amazing. I want to fight a lot this year. I want to, whether I win, lose, draw, I want to be a very active fighter. And look, people win, people lose. So it's just how you get yourself back up off that and making sure you stay active and you just get yourself back on the horse and you just come back stronger. So for me, this is going to be a very active year. So I want to have a lot of fights this year.
You're loving the lifestyle, I can tell, aren't you? That's what it is. You just don't want to go back to eating rubbish. You want to stay slim. You want to... I can sense it.
The only thing I miss is like traveling. I was a big traveler before, and obviously with this lifestyle, it's like, oh god, I give myself maybe a week off after a fight, and then I'll go back. Like, well, that's my plan this year. I want to do a week off and then get back to camp.
Well, you're doing another transition for me. What happens after the fight, win or loss? Are you going? You take what time away?
Yeah, I'm going to Dubai after this.
I'm going to Dubai as well.
When are you going?
I'm going in March.
Oh, bad. I'm going. I'm going to go
in March.
2 days, like 2 days after the fight, and just let my hair down, and then maybe go to Thailand, maybe go to Bali. I'm just playing it by ear. Then.
But you need time to sort of detox and just do you let yourself go a bit in that week, or do you quite relaxed?
To see how I kind of play it
because some people do it differently. Some people, Paddy Pimblett, obviously in the UFC, if you've heard of him, I mean, we've seen he's like a stick when he fights, and then like a week after he's about.
I think it'll depend on how the outcome of the fight is. Like, after the Astrid fight, I literally ate my feelings. I ate into my emotions. I put on about 5 kg in like the space of 2 weeks. No, honestly, I put on so much weight. I ate a different takeaway every day.
What's your favourite takeaway?
Honestly, I love all takeaways. So it was just like whatever cuisine I was feeling that day. Like
I don't want to make you feel bad, by the way.
I got delivery plus because it was that bad that I was like, I can't keep paying for delivery. So I was like, because I was ordering takeaway every day. So if you
had to pick one takeaway though, okay, actually let's rephrase that. If you come out the fight, and the first day off, what are you eating?
So this time round, I've been craving Domino's.
I don't rate Domino's.
Whereas last fight, I think I was craving like a curry, and then the one before that, I was craving Nando's.
I'm on the Nando's and the Indian vibe. Domino's doesn't fit with me. I think it's just like a Pizza Hut. I don't mind.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Like this time round, I can eat Nando's. So it's like I want like something really greasy, like something really greasy, and like what's greasier than Domino's
Stuffed
pizza?
crust and things like that. Are you on that
Yeah,
vibe?
Domino's. And do you know what? I don't even have that many much on it. I literally just go for a plain cheese and tomato with drenched in the garlic dip.
Yeah, I can back that. No, I can. But
Yeah.
let's stop talking about food because I am absolutely starving, right? And final question, very cliche. I hate doing this, but predictions, because every fight you've had so far has gone the distance. We spoke about that, and we spoke about sort of you've sort of working on your power. Do you feel like you've got the power to knock her out?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where she is. Like, I don't know how heavy she's going to be. So I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm going to knock her out because, you know, I think it's such a bold statement and it's really embarrassing when people don't.
Round one knockout.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going to knock her out. And it's like, when it don't happen, it's actually, I think it's quite hard for women to knock each other out in the weight division I'm in and the lighter division because we're light girls. You know, you'll see more knockouts maybe with the heavyweight girls, not the lighter girls.
It's more stoppages and things like that, isn't
exactly
it?
that. But I definitely, I'm a warrior and I'm not going to, I just see my hand getting raised into the night.
You just want to win.
Yeah.
You don't care how you win, but you want to win.
How it happens, what I need to do, like whatever dark place I have to go to, I just want to win.
Amazing. Right, well, thank you so much for coming because it's been an absolute privilege and it's great to meet you. So I'll give you one of them. So thank you very much. Good luck as well for next week. And in the comments, please let me know. This is a question for you. Who does AJ fight next? She's obviously listed a few names, but drop in the comments. Throw some suggestions in, some dream fights you want to see AJ involved in. Win, loss, whatever happens, even draw because it's 2024. Anything can happen. But yeah, if you could like the video, that would be amazing. Subscribe. It's absolutely bloody free. Red button. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on as well so you get notified about any videos we do here on one-on-one boxing. From myself, Mr. No Trim, Charlie Woollard, on a Thursday. And my lovely special guest, AJ Bunker. We will see you on the next episode of the Influencer Boxing Show.